Hey there. This is The Rabbit and the Turtle by Eric Carle. Now, Maddie, I want you to notice something. The last book we read about the chameleon was written by the same author. The author of the book is the one who writes it. The illustrator is the one who draws the pictures. The Rabbit and the Turtle. The Lion and the Mouse. Let me see, sorry. I'll show pictures first because it's quite a long page. A huge lion sitting on the grass happened to put his foot on a tiny mouse. "Help, help!" cried the mouse. "Let me out from under here." And she tickled the lion's paw. The lion lifted his foot, saw the tiny mouse, and held her up to his face. "Grrr," growled the lion. "Please, Mr. Lion," begged the mouse, "don't eat me." "Why shouldn't I?" asked the lion. "I am hungry." "I am so little," said the mouse. "I wouldn't make much of a meal for you." "You are right," said the lion. And he put the mouse down on the ground. "Thank you," said the mouse as she scurried away. "I'll be glad to help you someday." "You help me?" roared the lion, laughing. "That is a joke." Then the lion stretched out in the shade of a tree and fell asleep. But just as he began to snore, 3 wolves sneaked up and threw a heavy rope around him. Before the lion had opened his eyes, he was tied securely to the tree. The wolves stole what they could carry of the lion's belongings and ran away, leaving the lion still tied to the tree. No matter how hard the lion pulled, he could not get the rope off. He could not even loosen it. "Help, help!" howled the lion. When the mouse heard his cry, she ran to him. "Don't worry, Mr. Lion," said the mouse. "I'll help you." And with her sharp teeth, she bit through the heavy ropes. In no time, she had set the lion free. "Thank you so much," said the lion, and he set out after the wolves. When he caught up with them, he threw them to the ground and took back all they had taken from him. "And now, my dear friend," said the lion as he returned to the mouse, "you have saved my life and my fortune too. I see that you are not at all too small to do very big deeds." "My pleasure," replied the mouse proudly. "Friends come in all sizes and shapes." The Wolf and the Dog. Ooh, this sounds fun. A poorly dressed wolf with an empty stomach happened to meet a well-fed and well-dressed dog. "Ah, hello, cousin," said the wolf. "How are you?" "Don't call me cousin," answered the dog. "Look at you in tatters and begging. It's disgusting, disgraceful." "What a beautiful dress you are wearing," the wolf went on. "And you have such nice plump cheeks. It's clear that you don't know what it is to be hungry." "I work for my master and he takes good care of me," answered the dog. "I would like to work for your master too," said the wolf, "if he'd take as much care of me." "Well, it just so happens," said the dog, "that my master does need some help." "What kind of help?" "We need another watchdog." "Can I do that?" "Surely, it's easy. Come along." As they walked toward the master's house, the wolf noticed something around the dog's neck. "Cousin, what is that thing around your neck?" "That is a collar." "What is a collar for?" "One can attach a chain to it." "A chain? Whatever for?" "Watchdogs are often tied on chains outside their masters' houses. Didn't you know that?" "Thank you, cousin," said the wolf, turning around. "I know that I'd rather be hungry than chained up like a slave." And with that, the wolf said goodbye and left. Being free is the greatest gift. The Fox and the Crane. A stingy fox once invited a crane to his house for dinner. He served a delicious meal, but he put it on very flat plates. The poor crane, with her long beak, could not get at the food at all. She turned her neck this way and that, but it didn't help. The food always slipped away from her beak. The fox, pretending not to see the crane's trouble, gobbled up all the food in no time. Of course, the crane was still hungry after the table had been cleared. "Dear Miss Crane," said the fox as the crane was leaving, "I hope that you enjoyed your meal. Let's get together again soon." The crane nodded her head politely, but she did not reply. However, soon afterward, the crane invited the fox to her house for dinner. She, too, served a delicious meal, but in very tall, thin goblets. Of course, the fox couldn't get to the food. He tried this way and he tried that. It didn't help. His food was down at the bottom of the goblet, and no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't reach it. In the meantime, the crane put her long beak down into her tall, thin goblet and easily ate up all her food. This time, it was the fox who was still hungry after the table had been cleared. "Dear Mr. Fox," said the crane as the fox was leaving, "I hope that you enjoyed your meal. Let's get together again soon." But the embarrassed fox never again called on the crane. Treat others as you want to be treated. The Cat and the Mouse. A young mouse, sick and tired of being chased by the cat, had an idea. The mouse called in the whole family and proclaimed, "We mice must protect ourselves from the cat, once and for all." "Yes, yes," cried all the mouse. We must be able to run around freely anytime and anywhere we wish to do so. Right, right, shrieked the other mice. I know how to outwit the cat, the proud young mice went on. How? Asked the others. With this bell, said the young mouse, pointing to a shiny new bell. When the cat is asleep, we shall fasten the bell around his neck. When he moves, the bell will ring. That way, we can hear the cat before the cat sneaks up on us. Bravo, bravo, called the mice. The young mouse bowed and smiled. Long live our genius, shouted the mice. The young mouse took another bow. Question, said a weak little voice from the back of the room. Who will put the bell around the cat's neck? All the mice turned around to look at their grandmother, who had asked the question. She was an old mouse, wrinkled and stooped. A volunteer, of course, answered the young mouse. Who will volunteer? Asked the grandmother. Everybody looked at everybody else. No one volunteered. And that is why cats still catch mice to this very day. An idea is not always enough. Thank you for being so patient to see the pictures, Maddie. The Monkey and the Fox. When the wise and beloved old king of the jungle passed away, all the animals got together to elect a new ruler. Each animal told the others why he would be the best king. When it was the monkey's turn, he put on the old king's crown and his velvet robe and did a wonderful imitation of the king. He even made a short speech in the old king's voice. It's almost like having our dear king back again, said the animals, and they promptly elected the monkey to be their new king. Only the fox disagreed. He tried to warn the other animals